quorum of the Rock Island City Council due to the disaster declaration issued by Governor Pritzker. Because of this order related to COVID-19 public health concerns affecting the state and the city, the mayor has determined that an in-person meeting at City Hall with all participants is not practical or prudent. Aldermen and staff may not all be physically present at City Hall due to the disaster, and physical attendance at City Hall may be limited. To participate remotely during the public comment or public hearing portion of the meeting, please join by phone at 1-518-655-1326 and use PIN 483-142-834 #.
Very good, thank you. We need roll call.
Alderman Clark.
Here.
Alderman Hurt.
Here.
Alderman Spargettis.
Present.
Alderwoman Swanson.
Here.
Alderman Parker.
Here.
Alderman Poulos.
Here.
Alderman Geenan.
Here.
Mayor Tomes.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. We will stand, do the Pledge of Allegiance, and remain standing for a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States, to the republic
for which it stands,
under God,
God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I got him right here. No, we don't have to list because it's on mute.
Thank you very much. All right. We are ready for public comment. I know there's nobody in the audience for that, but if there's anybody virtually for public comment, *6 will unmute your microphone.
Hi, Council. Randy McClintock Trucking and Excavating. Just representing my business tonight. I understand we are on the agenda for the sewer lateral and water service replacement program. I'm available for any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. When we get to that. Anybody else for public comment?
Yes, I'm Kendra Hofter. I am here to, discuss the issues on 24th Avenue.
Was that the abatement or the? I'm not sure. What on 24th Avenue?
24th Avenue, I've requested handicap signs. There's security cameras pointed at my property, and now 2 vehicles are parked at the end of the road, and so I completely have no access, and neither does emergency vehicles. So today I had to literally slide, bit by bit down the hill to get to my ground.
So several things. Let me just back up. Could you actually spell your name so we have it for the record, please?
Absolutely. It's Helfter.
Okay, that was your last name?
Correct. First name, Kendra.
And you live where?
1315 25th Avenue. I have 2 properties, 1238 24th Avenue, 1240 24th Avenue.
Okay. And your issue is the ice, is that what I understood?
No, sir. The end of the road, it's behind or to the west side of Rocky High School. I live on 25th, and then my property continues down a very steep hill with trees, and then the lower ground are the 2 lots. The city's property is Large Rock Road that ends at the end of 24th Avenue. I guess there were drainage issues down that steep hill. And so I can only enter at the corner where there is a curb. So there's handicap signs there. The resident parks outside of the handicap area, and when I go down there, the police are called, which is unnecessary. I have a placard. When Public Works, two individuals came to post the handicap signs, I went down to ask, is anyone available, or anyone with a placard, are they able to park here? And it was indicated that no, I could not. So then I contacted a police officer and brought him to my house, and we looked down there, and I go, can I park in the handicap area so I can access my two properties? He said yes. So I went down there, and the police were called. I was issued a ticket, and then when I went down again and parked, I parked sideways so that both of us would have access to the handicap section, and I got a ticket. And then the next time I went down, I parked straightway with the handicap, in between the handicap signs, and two cops were called that time. And they wouldn't tell me why they were there. They took my placard, and I just sat around for 30 minutes, and then they left. So I really just would like to have access to my property without being harassed or blocked.
Correct. All right, my understanding is that you have been contacted by several different people over a period of time about this. Yes, you do need the handicap
No.
placard if you're going to park in a handicap spot.
Which I
and
have.
Okay. And you may have to go over the curb to get to your land. But we will have the...
Well, in the city bylaws say that residents cannot be asked to cross over any hazardous areas, and certainly going over a curb and 5-inch rock where you don't know if there may be a hole, that I cannot be asked to do that.
Okay. We will have the Public Works Director contact you about this.
He was supposed to already contact me and has not.
Okay? We will work on having that done.
All right, and then I also requested, I had to call an ambulance a couple weeks ago because I could not, for 2 weeks, get anyone to come plow out the drive, and I even used Home Advisor. I went out to take a look at the mountain thinking that I could maybe shovel it. Obviously, that was not the case. And so while I was trying to climb the mountain to assess it from the street, I fell. I called the ambulance, and because they could not access my driveway, I was carried in a tarp. So I requested also a handicap sign be put at the end of my driveway so that maybe they can just be a little courteous on how much of snow, they could drop their blade before my drive and then, and then pick it up and then drop the blade, halfway through my driveway. So I contacted the city manager and requested, and he agreed that this particular situation, because of what I had to go through, City Works would come and plow out just the mountain, which they did so.
Okay, so they did take care of the snow.
They did that particular time, yes.
Okay.
But that's why now I'm concerned. I would like to have, because I had to slide down the hill today, emergency vehicle access to both ends of my property. I mean, people should be able to access their front yard and their backyard, right? So that's all I'm requesting.
Okay. Once again, that would be the Public Works Director that can discuss that. I'm not sure the policy, if there's a handicap. Go ahead. Somebody can say something.
Yeah. No, I mean, I tried all last year to talk to him. And then with the comments with the public work people or employees or staff that the comments I received when they were putting in the signs requested in front of her home were inappropriate for city employees. So I don't feel that I'm going to get anywhere with Public Works.
Okay.
And that's Mr. Bartels, correct?
Correct.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because I'm not sure the policy, if it's a handicap spot there, that they plow it any different than if it wasn't there, so.
Oh, no. You know, it was a request because I was in an emergency situation and it became a problem.
Yeah. Okay. But the policy is, once again, we plow the streets. It's the homeowner's responsibility for their sidewalks, for their driveways, for accessibility. The city can't.
Yeah, I understand that. But like I said, I have tried to I contacted several people to come plow the drive, and no one even returned my call. And I just assume it was because of the holidays.
Yeah, I can't predict that, but, okay. Yeah, I would try to find somebody you can line up on a permanent basis versus last-minute calls.
Absolutely.
And so.
I gotcha.
All right?
Yep, I will then wait for what, Mr. Bartels to contact me?
That is correct.
Okay.
All right?
Okay, what was done the last time is he left a message, and then I left several messages, and then I've never heard from him for over a year.
Okay.
So anyway.
We will make sure. We'll make sure he calls.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate the opportunity to speak here at the council. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Anyone else for public comment?
Yeah. Good evening. My name is Tamara Sheldon. I am a resident of Rock Island. In light of last week's events at our nation's capital, I ask that you, Mr. Mayor, and the members of the City Council make an unequivocal statement that you do not believe that the U.S. election was fraudulent or that votes were mishandled, that you accept the outcome of the election as completely legitimate, and that you are fully committed to the Constitution of the United States and the democratic principles that define our nation. With all that has transpired, I find it essential that we hear such affirmations from our elected leaders. Thank you.
I need a name.
Thank you. Could you spell your name for us, please?
The last name is Feldon, F like in Frank, E-L-D-E-N. The first name is Tamara, T-A-M-A-R-A.
Very good. Thank you. Is there anyone else that wishes to speak? Star 6 will unmute the mic. Hearing done, we will move on. We're at item number 7.
Minutes from the December 21st, 2020 City Council meeting.
Solomon, for
Hello.
a motion to.
Hello, I didn't unmute my phone in time. Can I
Okay.
still speak at the public?
Yes.
Hello?
Can we
Yes.
do this vote first?
Yes. Yes.
Okay,
Can you give us your
thank
name?
you.
Could you give us your name and spell it for us, please?
Yeah, my name is James Eagle, E-A-G-L-E. I represent Marie and John Weiss.
Yes.
And I'm calling with regard to the potential vacation of a portion of 42nd Avenue near the Rock River.
Okay.
And I sent an email, it looks like Friday. Well, no, I think it was maybe Thursday, to all the city council members and the mayor and Miles Brainerd and Randy Tweet and Alan Fries. Let's see, my clients, Marie and John Baez, own the property just north of the proposed vacation. And it's a vacant lot right now. They wanted to improve it with a house, and they wanted to make sure that they'd have access to their property. And right now there's a telephone and guy wires in the right of way. And so my client's first preference is to not vacate the right of way. That would give my clients access to their property. In the alternative, my client's second preference is to have a sort of a diagonal 50-50 split, where my clients would have the frontage that fronts 42nd Avenue, and the neighbors to the south, the Van Normans, would have the Rock River frontage, and it'd just be a diagonal split. I did look at the memo from December 30th, and it looks like you're contemplating maybe a 50-50 split, with my client having the added advantage of a 20-foot right-of-way easement over the southern part of the right-of-way. And that may not be enough. It would be beneficial to my client if that was extended 30 feet, to the west. That would give my clients enough room to make it around the telephone pole and the guy wires. My clients would want to improve that property in the future, and they have invested some money improving that property to date. And there's been a couple of agreements with the city, a lease and another agreement, and those were attached to my email as exhibits or attachments 5 and 6. So again, my client would prefer not to have the 42nd Avenue vacated right there. They'd prefer to just keep it a right-of-way. But if you do divide it among the neighbors, my client would be sensitive to the frontage, the 42nd Avenue frontage. They'd need enough room to get around that telephone pole and the guy wires that are in the right-of-way. So that's my client's preference, and I just kind of rely on that email that I sent to everyone. I hope everybody received it that should receive it, and that's all I have.
Okay. Mr. Eagle, I'll tell you what, and before we comment on it, and you respond back or have questions, it's on item number 22 on the agenda, and so when we get to that, there will be a time for discussion, and if any of the council members have any questions, if you don't mind hanging in there, you can answer those.
That sounds good. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. All right. Now, item number 7.
Minutes from the December 21st, 2020 City Council meeting.
This is Alderman Hurt. Motion to approve the minutes as printed.
Alderman Poole.
Thank you. It's been moved in second. Is there any discussion? Roll call.
Alderwoman Swanson.
Yes.
Alderman Parker.
Aye.
Alderman Poulos.
Aye.
Alderman Geenan.
Aye.
Alderman Clark.
Aye.
Alderman Hurt.
Yes.
Alderman Spargettis.
Yes.
7-0, motion carries.
Thank you very much. Item 8 is State of the City Address. So we'll jump right into that and see if we can get through this. So once again, good evening. It is my privilege and honor to serve our citizens as mayor tonight and present the Cities of Rock Island's annual State of the City Address. I would like to thank all the employees, our elected officials, and 140-plus citizens representing more than 25 various boards and commissions that set and implement the direction of the city. Last year was a challenging year, to say the least. COVID-19 has changed our world as we have known it. Many have lost loved ones. People lost their jobs. Some business owners have lost their income, and some have lost their dreams. Building owners have lost the rent. Many Rock Islanders began remote working from their home. Our children have added remote learning to their vocabulary, and the city lost a lot of revenue. We were looking at a 6+% property tax rate increase. But we heard you loud, and we cut our expenses even further to get us to no property tax rate increase. We will be operating with less employees than we had in 2019. And management and labor have worked together to keep personnel costs to a minimum. We will continue to work hard at getting back to normal, or at least the new normal, but it will take time to make up for what we have lost. Well, one thing I do know is Rock Island residents are resilient. Let me tell you about the positive things that have happened in our city in 2020. And let me start by giving a look at what has happened within each department. Our Park and Rec department was faced with a tough choice of either shutting down facilities such as the Rock Island Fitness and Activity Center or adapting to new COVID-19 rules regarding attendance and social distancing and staying open. With 62% of the department's budget coming from user fees, you can imagine how hard their budget would have been during this last year's pandemic. So, they were able to make significant changes and run over 80 programs with over 5,500 participants. They created 40 new outdoor fitness classes and 25 new virtual classes, fitness classes, and held 15 sport clinics and camps, all while keeping the participants and themselves COVID safe. Our 2 golf courses were open and were financially self-sustaining. We continued the renovation to Douglas Park with almost $1 million invested and $300,000 invested in Hallberg Center and climbing, all in grants and private dollars. All right, there we go. Whitewater Junction was able to adapt its procedures for the summer and was the only local outdoor municipal pool to open this past summer. The Martin Luther King Center made some adjustments due to COVID-19 also. When the school district implemented remote learning, the center fulfilled the need for kids to have a place to be able to log in and learn, with our staff educators being on hand to assist, so the parents could go to work and not have to be burdened with the extra cost of daycare options. We all should feel a sense of pride for the staff and the board of the King Center for providing the support, nourishment, encouragement, and engagement that the kids really needed during the many phases of COVID. Another big change they made was their annual Thanksgiving dinner. MLK served a record number of meals this past year, with over 3,000 meals distributed by either curbside or delivery service. This was no easy task. It required over 100 volunteers to help from a number of other organizations, both with financial and in-kind donations, like Hill and Valley, Unity Point, and many others. A month later, the King Center, with help from Royal Neighbors of America and Unity Point, and once again many other individuals, provided a record number of 500 kids and 200 families with Christmas gifts. The center was able to gain many lasting friends and supporters this year because of their changes. There's no doubt that Martin Luther King Center creates community leaders. Their board chair, Ty Edwards, was a King Center kid growing up, and now is Dean of Edison Junior High in Rock Island, and is a leader in our community. The community support from the King Center lets the kids and their families know that they are cared for and respected, and that they have incredible futures ahead, and that we are there for them. The police department faced a number of really unique challenges in this past year, including dealing with and enforcing the new COVID 2020 mandates. Being on the front line when dealing with the public and during the pandemic has caused a shortage of staff and overtime due to the need to quarantine personnel when they are exposed. Through all of this, along with their normal day activities, the men and women of the police department never wavered in their commitment to the city. Even though their annual ceremony had to be postponed to 2021, the Knights of Columbus awarded Patrol Officer Zach Costas as their 2020 Police Officer of the Year for his service to the residents of Rock Island. Like the police department, the fire department also faced unprecedented COVID-related challenges this past year, along with high level of calls for service this past year, particularly due to the pandemic. The members completed a new Resiliency for First Responders course, continued the child car seat education and installation program, continued to partner with the Red Cross for the Sound Alarm campaign, installing free smoke detectors in many Rock Island homes. Community outreach to trained citizens in CPR prior to COVID was given to all department paramedics, and all department paramedics recertified their cardiac life support training. They also received a federal grant for personal protective equipment, received the 2020 EMS Silver Award from the American Heart Association for the Lifeline program for care of patients, and placed a new pumper truck into service. Lieutenant Jason Lehman was selected as the Knights of Columbus Firefighter of the Year. Then and exciting, our Human Resource Department kept busy implementing consistently changing COVID policies and overseeing our wellness clinic. They were able to keep health insurance premiums to 1.6% increase, even with medical and drug inflation costs increasing about 7%. Then here's another exciting news. HR negotiated a new cable internet TV franchise agreement with MetroNet, high-speed fiber internet. This will start up services in Rock Island in 2021. This will offer another option for Rock Island residents who want to have high-speed internet and TV service. Public Works Department has been busy. I am sure everyone remembers the derecho windstorm in August. Our city workers picked up 20,000 cubic yards of debris from that storm alone. It was a giant task that took several weeks to complete, but they were able to keep overtime cost to a minimum while still providing our regular city services to our residents and businesses. Rock Island continues to be true to its commitment of being a sustainable green community. One of the major projects in 2020 was a $13.8 million performance contract with Johnson Controls. In the water and sewer divisions, this will include replacement of the old unreliable water meters and rehabbing the wastewater aeration tanks. Outdated and inefficient heating and cooling systems will be replaced or rehabbed in the City Hall, in RIFAC, Central Fire Station, the library, and Martin Luther King Center. City-owned streetlights, as well as lighting in the city facilities, will be upgraded to LED lighting. The energy savings and reduced maintenance costs of the new equipment will offset much of the replacement costs, resulting in no impact to the Rock Island taxpayers. More importantly, the city's efforts will result in over 1 million pounds in saved CO2 emissions in the first 2 years. This part of the city's effort to ensure that we are taking steps now by reducing our carbon footprint so that the future generations of the children in Rock Island will have clean water, fresh air, and plush parks to play and explore. A major revenue-producing venture is to expand beyond our garbage collection contract with the Rock Island Arsenal and enter into a 10-year agreement to manage and maintain the Arsenal's water filtration plant, traffic signals, and street lights. This partnership between the city and the Arsenal will save the Arsenal money, provide additional revenue to the city. It is a win for the city, win for the Arsenal, and the taxpayers. It's just another example of providing more cost-efficient services through partnerships. Just recently, the city also received a $1.4 million grant from the FEMA to make repairs at Sunset Marina for the 2019 flood. This work will include replacement of the 400 dock and upgrading the electrical infrastructure of the entire marina. The library had a ribbon cutting for its new mobile library in January, Library to Go. Timing was good because the mobile library was very useful in creating Wi-Fi hotspots for students and adults needing internet access to help e-learning during the pandemic. We also used it to help us promote the 2020 census this past year. In facing the unexpected challenges of 2020, the library launched 3 new programs last year: Homebound, delivery service, a new library mobile app, an electronic library e-card to allow for touchless registration. These new innovative changes help with remote usage during the pandemic. Instead of shutting down due to COVID, they created curbside pickup and drop-off. So they're open. IT department was kept especially busy due to COVID-19. Along with their usual tasks, they installed and maintained several new cameras throughout the city. It has been unprecedented time in our history. Many of our employees worked from home for a while this past year when we closed some of the buildings to the public. All in efforts to social distance properly and keep our residents and our staff safe. Our ID department was able to help many of our staff members obtain the needed setups to accomplish this. Oops, missed that. The finance department worked diligently to find ways to save money this past year and was able to refinance and consolidate some bonds to reduce interest costs. Even with the loss of expected revenue, they were able to not only stay within an ever-changing budget for 2020, due in part to the $1.6 million in cure reimbursement, but also to present a balanced budget for 2021. A goal of the City Council was to maintain between 60 and 90 days of cash reserves. And we are proud to say that that goal was and is being met. The city is still in good financial health. Even with the loss of revenue, because of our hiring freeze, reducing or delaying some of our capital projects, and other budget cuts. Through all this, we were able to increase our credit rating from an A- to an A+ stable with S&P. Economic development. In 2020, the city succeeded in getting downtown Rock Island listed as the National Register of Historic Places. This is especially significant because it makes state and federal historic property tax credits available for commercial rehabilitation projects. We expect this initiative to drive additional investments in downtown. During this difficult time, the city was able to assist residents in need. Through our housing program, we were able to assist 48 residents with housing rehab projects. This is significantly more than our annual goal of assisting 35 residents and the highest number we have ever served in more than a decade. The CE department completed a long overdue update of the city's zoning code. This update has been in the works for the past several years and will significantly simplify the code, which we will ensure that the future developments can proceed smoothly. With our Community Economic Department, one of the biggest changes was implementing a 3-year contract with DARI, Development Association of Rock Island, to assist the city with the economic development throughout the city. This is another example of private-public partnerships that can leverage private dollars with public dollars and create more economic investment in the city. With this new partnership, DARI has hired 2 new employees to specifically work in tandem with our city staff to enhance economic development throughout the city of Rock Island. When the federal and state government started coming out with different grants and loan programs due to COVID, we were looking for a way to help businesses. The city of Moline gave us a lead on the software platform we named Rock Island Forward. This program allows for businesses to log in, enter some data specific to their business, and it shows them what city, state, and federal programs they're eligible for, along with appropriate forms needed for submission. Using this system, the city and DARI awarded over $330,000 in grants in 2 phases to 87 businesses. Here's a list, and not everybody can read it and everything else, but just to demonstrate a list, the size, the number of businesses that were helped in the 2 phases. In all, when we get done with all the grants and everything else, it'll be over $2 million worth of state and federal grants. The state has awarded almost $1.4 million in business interruption grants, big dollars, is directly to 30 businesses in 2 rounds, along with $578,000 to 22 child care providers in Rock Island. 7 businesses collectively received $86,000 grants from the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act, Rapid Response Services, to assist the businesses to prevent unemployment, not to mention payroll protection program and personal protection equipment funds. Once again, shows some of the people that in round 1 for the big grant. We got a list of the ones that round 2. And then we got the child care, very important during this pandemic, so people could go to work. And the rapid response, 86,000. 2020 was a challenging year, but we saw many of our restaurants and bars and businesses rethink their business plans and adapt to the circumstances. Carryout became customary, and outdoor dining areas were added or expanded to many facilities. Daiquiris to go, martinis to go, margaritas to go were being packaged, and people were able to take them and pick them up and take them home. Business growth did not stop during the pandemic, and our future is all about growth. 10 businesses opened in Rock Island, 15 businesses have either started or are planning expansions totaling $70 million, which includes projects like the $17 million expansion at GTI. And several other potential new projects are in the pipeline, like the YWCA downtown here, has started their fundraising and is over halfway meeting that goal, which speaks a lot. And it'll be a great building and service when it's in place. Looking at the $9.7 million investment in our downtown in 2021, and we are looking at $9.7 million investment in our downtown in 2021, and we'll be investing $3.9 million of TIF funds towards these projects, of which $1.5 million will be invested in downtown infrastructure like streetscaping, lighting, sidewalks, streets, and more. We also have formed a downtown task force to help us continue to implement the 2015 Downtown Revitalization Plan and to pursue options to hire a downtown manager to work closely with the task force and the downtown business and property owners. Achievements. In summary, it has been a challenging year for everyone in many different ways. But we achieved. Our services to our citizens of Rock Island have not changed. City staff and community partners took the leadership to organize a coalition of the Quad Cities for the 2020 census to do our part and make sure Rock Island receives its fair share of federal dollars that will be locked in for 10 years with the 2020 census. We balanced a 2020 budget, and we're balancing the 2021 budget. We passed a 0% property tax rate increase. We improved our credit rating. We gave out grants, not loans, to those businesses that needed help, and we gave out tax incentives to those businesses to grow or new ones to open up in Rock Island, and executed and created $70 million of opportunity in 2020 into 2021. I want to thank the citizens for the trust you have given me and the City Council. I would like to thank the city employees for making the impossible possible. And I really believe that the residents of Rock Island and the whole Quad Cities are resilient. As we continue to work together, we will grow together. This town rocks resilience. I'd like to thank you. All right. We are then moving on to item number 9.
Proclamation declaring January as Slavery and Human Trafficking Awareness Month. Whereas the United States was founded upon principle that all people are created with the unalienable right to freedom, and added the 13th Amendment to the Constitution making slavery illegal, and whereas human trafficking is modern-day slavery, claiming millions of victims worldwide and found in the United States most often in the form of sexual exploitation, forced labor, involuntary servitude, and debt bondage, and whereas this horrific crime, which denies human dignity and freedom and fuels organized crime, exists in every community, and whereas even though awareness of this crime is growing, human trafficking continues to go unreported due to its isolating nature, the misunderstanding of its definition, and the lack of awareness about its indicators, and whereas increased community education on how to identify victims of human trafficking, along with the increased knowledge of local resources and services for those affected by these criminal actions, can help restore freedom and dignity to identified survivors, as well as help diminish the number of future victims. And whereas fighting human trafficking is a shared responsibility, the efforts by our local community to promote the yearly observance of Human Trafficking Prevention Month in January enacts one of the examples of the continuous commitment in the United States and with the Iowa Network Against Human Trafficking and Slavery to increase awareness of and to actively eradicate human trafficking. And whereas the City of Rock Island joins Breaking Traffic, a program of family resources in their dedication to providing community outreach and education, legislative advocacy, and comprehensive services to survivors of human trafficking.
Now therefore, I, Mike Tomes, Mayor of the City of Rock Island, do hereby proclaim January 2021 as Slavery and Human Trafficking Awareness Month, and urge all citizens to join in this observance. And I believe we have Maggie Tisman on the line here to speak.
Thank you very much. I'd just like to say a few words because I greatly appreciate the City of Rock Island passing this proclamation that declares January as Slavery and Human Trafficking Prevention Month. As the initiator of the Iowa law making human trafficking a felony, and currently the Secretary of Iowa's Network Against Human Trafficking and the founder of Breaking Traffic, which is now connected with Family Resources that serves both sides of the river and is one of our major social service agencies. We thank you all once again for recognizing how important this issue is. Now, I realize that trafficking or slavery occurring right here is in the Quad Cities is indeed hard to believe, but it is right here in River City. So we need all our citizens to continue to learn about trafficking or slavery so that we can become part of the solution to this heinous crime. I also like to thank you for initiating a local massage parlor ordinance, which I believe you voted on last year. Is that correct?
Yes.
And so I hope that your law enforcement personnel will continue to enforce it, as well as to look for human trafficking whenever drug raids are initiated, as drugs and human trafficking are closely connected. One more issue I just want to mention is the hotel motel training. Iowa passed legislation last year for hotel motel training, meaning that the law asks hotels and motels to train all their employees on human trafficking using programs through their hotel chain or the Iowa Network Against Human Trafficking. If they do, the state of Iowa will furnish them with a certificate on their human trafficking training to publicly post in their lobby. And then the state will have all their state and local events through those hotels and motels. Otherwise, the state and local governments will not utilize them. 85% of sex trafficking is done in hotels and motels. So you might suggest this kind of legislation in Illinois. So think about it, because I think it's not a mandate. It's up to the hotels and motels, but it does have a little carrot and stick. So finally, I'd just like to say it's most important that our Quad Cities be free of an element that destroys basic human rights. Like you, we want our communities to be family-friendly and places of which we are extremely proud. And we are proud of Rock Island.
Well said. Thank you very much, Maggie, and thank you for continuing to pursue this issue.
Not at all. Well, we have to keep pursuing it because it's not accomplished yet.
That's correct. You have a good evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we have item number 10.
Presentation of the Beautification Commission's 2020 Holiday Lighting Awards.
All right, so this year, this is, actually, by the way, this year was the 35th year that the Beautification Commission has held its annual holiday lighting contest. The contest is intended to recognize Rock Island residents and businesses who craft seasonal displays that are enjoyed by many throughout the holiday. This year, over 14 lighting displays were nominated. Photos of the nominated properties were viewed and scored by members of the Beautification Commission during the meeting on December 28th. Winners were selected in both residential and commercial categories. Each display was truly outstanding, and the commission would like to thank everyone who participated in this year's contest. I will begin by reading the names of the winners in the residential and commercial categories, and then the remaining honorable mentions. So, in commercial category, we had 2525 4th Avenue, the Quad City Botanical Center. What a great display. They had it on for, several months, I believe, long time. 1701 First Avenue, Modern Woodmen of America. It's always done a great job. I must add on to that, so did Parks in Schriever Park. 1623 Second Avenue, Coleman's Florist. Oops, going too fast. Typical for me. So thank you for those commercial businesses and getting into the spirit and brightening everybody's holiday. Residential, we had 17 Chipionic Trail, first place. 4130 30th Street. 4100. See, I can't read. 2223 17th Street. Beautiful displays. That takes a lot of time and effort. And so thank you, everyone, for doing that. Honorable mentions, 1434 43rd Street. 1829 32nd Street. 9405 11th Street. 903 30th Street. 3128 35th Street. Number 2, Chipionic Trail. Number 11, Chipionic Trail. I think there's a theme there in Chipionic. And 16, Chipionic Trail. Once again, I think the neighborhood got together. A little competition was great. So once again, thank you everybody for taking that time, effort to add joy and cheer to people's days. Item number 11.
A special ordinance establishing a handicap parking space at 100 19th Street, northwest of the main entrance to the McKesson Lofts. Second reading.
Move to pass the ordinance.
Alderman Hurt, second.
Moved in second. Is there any discussion? I'm not sure if that was discussion, okay? Roll call.
Alderwoman Swanson,
Yes.
Alderman Parker,
Aye.
Alderman Poulos,
Aye.
Alderman Geenan,
Aye.
Alderman Clark,
Aye.
Alderman Hurt,
Yes.
Alderman Spaghettis.
Yes.
7-0, motion carries.
Item 12.
A special ordinance removing a residential-only parking zone on the east and west side of 19th Street between 7th and 8th Avenues. Second reading.
Alderman Parker will move to pass the ordinance.
Alderman Poulos will second.
Moved in second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Alderwoman Swanson,
Yes.
Alderman Parker,
Aye.
Alderman Poulos,
Aye.
Alderman Geenan,
Aye.
Alderman Clark,
Aye.
Alderman Hurt,
Yes.
Alderman Spaghettis.
Yes.
7-0, motion carries.
Item 13.
A special ordinance authorizing the sale of city-owned property at 301 8th Street, parcel 091794-2, PIN number 07344100015, to Nathan Morehart for $1,130 plus closing costs. Second reading.
Swanson moves to pass the ordinance.
Clark seconds.
Moved in second. Boy, Ivory, it's great to hear your voice. Any discussion?
Agreed.
Roll call, please.
Alderwoman Swanson,
Yes.
Alderman Parker,
Aye.
Alderman Poulos,
Aye.
Alderman Geenan,
Aye.
Alderman Clark,
Aye.
Alderman Hurt,
Yes.
Alderman Spaghettis.
Yes.
7-0, motion carries.
Item 14.
A special ordinance authorizing the sale of city-owned property at 634 and 636 18th Street, parcel 091647, PIN number 07354230012, to Compost, Muffler, and Brakes for $1 plus closing costs. Second reading.
Alderman Poulos makes a motion to pass the ordinance. Spargettis seconds.
Moved in second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Alderwoman Swanson,
Yes.
Alderman Parker,
Aye.
Alderman Pulis,
Aye.
Alderman Geenan,
Aye.
Alderman Clark,
Aye.
Alderman Hurt,
Yes.
Alderman Spargettis.
Yes.
7-0, motion carries.
Item 15.
Claims A through D. A, report from the Human Resources Department regarding payment to the city attorney, David G. Morrison, Rock Island, Illinois, for services provided December 1st through December 31st, 2020. B, report from the Public Works Department regarding payment number 11 to Green Space Associates, Davenport, Iowa, in the amount of $30,550 for services provided September 30th through December 7th, 2020, on the 2019-2020 sod replacement program, Project 2141. C, report from the Public Works Department regarding payment to A Plus Plumbing, Davenport, Iowa, in the amount of $15,629.66 for water service repair work at 2227 9th Street. And D, report from the Public Works Department regarding payment number 2 to Johnson Controls Incorporated, Moline, Illinois, in the amount of $350,000 for services provided from October 16th, 2020 through December 31st, 2020.
This is Alderman Clark. Move to allow claims items A through D.
Alderman Spargettis, second. Go ahead, Mark.
All right. Alderman Pulis will second.
Moved in second. Is there any discussion? Roll call.
Alderwoman Swanson,
Yes.
Alderman Parker,
Aye.
Alderman Pulis,
Aye.
Alderman Geenan,
Aye.
Alderman Clark,
Aye.
Alderman Hurt,
Yes.
Alderman Spargettis.
Yes.
7-0, motion carries.
Item 16.
Claims for the week of December 18th through December 31st, 2020, in the amount of $1,099,907.55. January 1st through January 7th, 2020, in the amount of $307,027.67, and payroll for the weeks of December 14th through December 27th, 2020, in the amount of $1,467,595.83.
Alderman Hurt, motion to allow the claims and payroll.
Swanson, seconds.
Moved in second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Alderwoman Swanson,
Yes.
Alderman Parker,
Aye.
Alderman Pulis,
Aye.
Alderman Geenan,
Aye.
Alderman Clark,
Aye.
Alderman Hurt,
Yes.
Alderman Spargettis.
Yes.
7-0, motion carries.
Item 17.
Report from the Community and Economic Development Department regarding bids for the demolition of two properties, 721 14th Street and 2732 8th Avenue, recommending the bid be awarded to Jimax Corporation, Peoria, Illinois, in the amount of $44,258.72, plus a 10% contingency.
Alderman Spargettis moves to award the bid as recommended and authorize the city manager to execute the contract documents.
Alderman Clark seconds.
It's been moved in second. Any discussion?
This is Alderman Parker. I need
Yes.
to recuse myself due to the nature of my employment.
Okay. Roll call.
Alderwoman Swanson,
Yes.
Alderman Pulis,
Aye.
Alderman Geenan,
Aye.
Alderman Clark,
Aye.
Alderman Hurt,
Yes.
Alderman Spargettis.
Yes.
6-0, motion carries.
Item 18.
Report from the Public Works Department regarding bids for the 2021 Water Service and Sanitary Lateral Repair Program, Projects 2526 and 2564, recommending the bid be awarded to McClintock Trucking and Excavating Incorporated, Silvis, Illinois, in the amount of $177,140.63.
Swanson moves to award the bid as recommended and authorize the city manager to execute the contract documents.
Pulis will second.
Moved in second. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderwoman Swanson.
Yes.
Alderman Parker.
Aye.
Alderman Poulos.
Aye.
Alderman Geenan.
Aye.
Alderman Clark.
Aye.
Alderman Hurt.
Yes.
Alderman Spargettis.
Yes.
7-0, motion carries.
Item 19.
Report from the Public Works Department regarding bids for the 2020 Sunset Marina Lift Well Repair Rock Island Project 2838, recommending the bid be awarded to General Constructors of Quad Cities Incorporated, Bettendorf, Iowa, in the amount of $16,150.
Alderman Hurt, motion to award the bid as recommended and authorize the city manager to execute the contract documents.
Spargettis seconds.
Moved in second. Any discussion?
Alderman Parker, again, I need to recuse myself from this one as well due to the nature of my employment.
Roll call, please.
Alderwoman Swanson.
Yes.
Alderman Poulos.
Aye.
Alderman Geenan.
Aye.
Alderman Clark.
Aye.
Alderman Hurt.
Yes.
Alderman Spargettis.
Yes.
6-0, motion carries.
Item 20.
Report from the Community and Economic Development Department regarding the sale of city-owned real estate described as 505 Fifth Avenue, parcel 091900, PIN number 07344020007, to Wanda Schulten for $764 plus closing costs. First reading.
This is Alderman Parker. Move to approve the sale as recommended, authorize the city manager to execute the sale agreement and consider the ordinance.
Alderman Poulos, second.
Moved in second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Alderwoman Swanson.
Yes.
Alderman Parker.
Aye.
Alderman Poulos.
Aye.
Alderman Geenan.
Aye.
Alderman Clark.
Aye.
Alderman Hurt.
Yes.
Alderman Spargettis.
Yes.
7-0, motion carries.
Item 21.
Report from the Community and Economic Development Department regarding the sale of city-owned real estate described as 415 9th Street, parcel 091951, PIN 07344130003, to Tequila Horn for $762.50 plus closing costs. First reading.
This is Alderman Poulos. I make a motion to approve the sale as recommended and authorize the city manager to execute the sale agreement and consider the ordinance.
Alderman Clark seconds.
Moved in second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Alderwoman Swanson.
Yes.
Alderman Parker.
Aye.
Alderman Poulos.
Aye.
Alderman Geenan.
Aye.
Alderman Clark.
Aye.
Alderman Hurt.
Yes.
Alderman Spargettis.
Yes.
7-0, motion carries.
Item 22.
Report from the Community and Economic Development Department regarding a request from John Van Norman to vacate a section of 42nd Avenue right-of-way near the Rock River. First reading.
Move to approve the vacation as requested, provided a utilities easement be put in place for the same. A 20-foot access easement for the owners of 80 Shore Acres be put in place and consider the ordinance.
Alderman Poulos will second.
And moved in second. Is there any discussion?
Excuse me, this is Jim Eagle. I'm a little unclear. Would that be, it's a 40-foot right-of-way. Would it be 20 feet to the north and 20 feet to the south?
Mr. Eagle, this is Miles Brainerd. I spoke with you previously on the phone. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
If you have access to the online agenda, you can pull up the report that staff provided to the council, and you can see a map that's included with that report.
Okay, yeah.
I know all of the, yes, and so you can see that the 20-foot access easement is shown in that map the same way as the 20-foot access easement is shown in the 2009 agreement that your client had with the city to provide for the same access. So basically, you know, the exact same thing that was approved in 2009 would continue to be in place per the language of the ordinance that is under consideration at this meeting.
Okay, I just wanted clarification. Thank you, Miles.
Yes, no problem.
Is there any further discussion? Roll call.
Alderwoman
Looks like-
Swan.
Whoops, is there somebody else?
Sorry, that was me speaking, Alderman Parker. I noticed that Alderman Polis had raised his hand on the app here. I don't know if that was intentional or what.
So that was intentional. Thank you, Alderman Parker.
No problem.
As I understand, that this will not prohibit access to the property for, again, the person that for Mr. Wise, I believe it is.
Yeah, so to answer your question, Alderman Poulos, the vacation goes right down the middle where the section of right-of-way is 40 feet wide. The northern 20 feet, so the northern half, will be conveyed to Mr. Vise on the north side. And then the southern 20 feet, or the southern half, will be conveyed to Mr. Van Norman on the south side. So Mr. Vise should have quite substantial access to the remaining 42nd Avenue right-of-way. In addition, he will maintain that 20-foot access easement across the 20 feet that Mr. Van Norman will receive. So he should have pretty significant access to his property.
Thank you, Mr. Brainerd.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderwoman Swanson.
Yes.
Alderman Parker.
Aye.
Alderman Poulos.
Aye.
Alderman Geenan.
Aye.
Alderman Clark.
Aye.
Alderman Hurt.
Yes.
Alderman Spaghettis.
Yes.
7-0, motion carries.
Item 23.
Report from the Finance Department regarding the adjustments to the calendar year 2021 budget, increasing the general fund 101 by $10,267, the downtown TIF fund 201 by $120,000, the Century Woods TIF 2214 by $17,000, the Heather Ridge TIF Fund 215 by $8,000, Parks and Recreation Fund 555 by $200,000 through a transfer from fleet amortization and decreasing the Library Fund 251 by $32,612.
Spaghettis moves to approve the budget adjustments as recommended.
Swanson seconds.
Moved in second. Is there any discussion? Roll call.
Alderwoman Swanson.
Yes.
Alderman Parker.
Aye.
Alderman Poulos.
Aye.
Alderman Geenan.
Aye.
Alderman Clark.
Aye.
Alderman Hurt.
Yes.
Alderman Spaghettis.
Yes.
7-0, motion carries.
Item 24.
Report from the Public Works Department regarding the repairs to the bridge on 40th Avenue Court using Rebuild Illinois bonds funds.
Swanson moves to approve the resolution and expenditure authorization of motor fuel tax funds and the engineering services agreement and authorize the city manager and city clerk to execute the documents.
Spaghettis seconds.
Alderman Hurt, second.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jim.
Who's
I
quick?
think you have both already.
Been moved in second. Is there any discussion? And third. Any discussion? Roll call.
Alderwoman Swanson.
Yes.
Alderman Parker.
Aye.
Alderman Poulos.
Aye.
Alderman Geenan.
Aye.
Alderman Clark.
Aye.
Alderman Hurt.
Yes.
Alderman Spaghettis.
Yes.
7-0, motion carries.
Item 25.
Report from the Community and Economic Development Department regarding Solomon Townhomes project and the TIF incentives resolution.
Alderman Parker here. I would like to move to approve the resolution as recommended.
Alderman Clark, second.
I'm sorry, go ahead. I agree.
Alderman Clark, seconds.
Thank you. Move to second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Alderwoman Swanson,
Yes.
Alderman Parker,
Aye.
Alderman Poulos,
Aye.
Alderman Geenan,
Aye.
Alderman Clark,
Aye.
Alderman Hurt,
Yes.
Alderman Spaghettis.
Yes.
7-0, motion carries.
Very good. Item 26, other business. Anything else for the good of the cause?
This is Alderwoman Swanson, and I just kind of want to make a short statement regarding the events that happened last Wednesday, January the 6th. As an elected official, I stood in these chambers in May of 2019 and pledged an oath of loyalty to uphold the Constitution. That oath was not frivolous and it was not without merit. It was not a lie. That oath had meaning and carried responsibility and weight to it. That oath was not to a party. It was not to an individual person. It was an oath that I would uphold the Constitution, not just when I felt like it or it suited my personal political agenda, but all the time. That same oath was pledged to by all of my peers here, by all 100 senators, by all 435 House representatives, by the President and the Vice President. Today, I am again pledging to uphold the oath of loyalty to the Constitution. I ask the citizens of Rock Island to hold me accountable to that oath. And if I act in a treasonous or seditious manner against the Constitution, I ask that my removal from office be immediate and with consequences. I hold myself accountable as I hold all elected officials accountable to that significant oath of loyalty. And I feel that in light of all the events, that I personally needed to remind the residents that I valued that oath and I will uphold it.
Thank you.
This is Alderman Poulos, and I would concur with Alderman Swanson with her comments. And again, I have taken that oath on several occasions, first in the Marine Corps and with the police department. And again, I would ask that the citizens of Rock Island hold me accountable to that oath.
Very good.
This is Alderman Geenan, and the oath that we take to serve our citizens is one that I do not take lightly, and I ask that those that I represent and the citizens of Rock Island hold me accountable to the oath that I have committed to uphold to protect the Constitution.
Thank you. Any other business anybody wish to bring forth?
I'd just like to say, this is Alderman Clark, I'd just like to say thank you all for your prayers. Thank you for your texts. Thank you for just asking if I need anything done, if I need my driveway plowed. You guys, if I need fruits and vegetables, you guys have been wonderful. And I really appreciate all you've done, and it's helped me get through this process a lot better. So just simply thank you for your support. I am going in a better direction than I was, so you should be hearing more from me now that all my surgeries should be over, and now I'm just doing checkups and recovery. So thank you guys again. Thank all my First Ward citizens for looking out, trying to see what they can do for me, and it's just all been appreciated. And God bless you all, and you will be hearing from me more. So thanks for everything, guys.
And thank you, Avery.
Thank you for fighting.
Yes,
Yep.
we're glad to have you back.
Yes. Thank you for fighting. You fought a hard battle. Keep it up. Thank you. And I do agree with the other council people on the Constitution issue.
And Mr. Mayor, I'd like to say thank you for telling us and the residents of the work that we're doing as a city. It's a joy to work besides you and these council members on behalf of the city. So thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. All right. If there's nothing else, we're item 27.
Executive session 5 ILCS 120/2C2, collective negotiating matters between the public body and its employees or their representatives.
This is Alderman Poulos. I would request to go into executive session with response to 5 ILCS 1202C2 with regard to collective bargaining or collective negotiating matters between the public body and the employers or their representatives.
Is there a second?
Sbrigetta seconds.
Go ahead.
Move to second. Any discussion on it? We're going to do a roll call.
Alderwoman Swanson,
Yes.
Alderman Parker,
Aye.
Alderman Pulis,
Aye.
Alderman Geenan,
Aye.
Alderman Clark,
Aye.
Alderman Hurt,
Yes.
Alderman Spargettis.
Yes.
7-0, motion carries.
Great. We are now headed into executive session. We're going to pause for a minute, make sure that everybody's clear.